Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. And we're going to zoom in and focus in and dedicate this session today on understanding what I'm going to call psychopathic presence, a way with which this person exudes a very specific type of energy. It's a very specific type of aura. It's a very specific sort of feeling that you get when you're around this person. And when we talk about a psychopath, once again, we are discussing someone who is antisocial personality disorder. Chances are someone who has been this way their entire life. They have a distinguishing neural chemistry and neural network that causes them to really operate without a conscience. Really, that's the distinguishing feature, meaning that they don't really operate by a sense of right or wrong that most people in society would operate by. In other words, you don't hurt others, you don't harm animals, you play fair, you play nice, you operate by being polite, social graces, good sportsmanship. You don't bully and tyrannize others. You don't lie. You tell the truth. You do what is right. You follow the rules. You follow the protocol. And the people who are psychopathic in nature, they do not get this. They do not have a conscience. So the areas of the brain which are responsible for judgment and morality are inactive or less active than the bulk or mass of society. In other words, psychopathic people are thought to be within, about 1%, inhabit about 1% of the population. So it's a small percentage of people who have this disorder. So it is uncommon, but yet they tend to rise up based on this ability. They tend to become the criminals, the business moguls, the financial moguls that take advantage of others and operate their business without integrity, without morals, without scruples, without people's best interest or humanity in mind. So hence the term antisocial personality. Yet these people can, lack empathy. So they also kind of have a lack of connection to the emotional content of people, situations, objects, music, etc. that most people do. So they are lacking in the ability. And many studies have been done on this, that they, not only the neurochemistry that we see that is different about these people, but the way that they ascribe meaning to words, language, and events is different than others, and the way that they also feel about how they would help others. So presence of empathy is not really existent. So they have that area shut off, if you will, and so they can develop, though, a mimicry of this in order to manipulate others, to control others. In other words, we call basically like a cognitive or intellectual empathy. So they can engineer it as if they can connect and feel for others, but it is all to mask or belay as like a decoy, if you will. So, of course, with any relationship, it has to be an equal balance. It can't be me empathizing with you all day. There has to be a give and take, So, people who, overly attend to the needs of others, overly empathetic, they get into trouble because they burn themselves out. Now, when we talk about, the psychopathic presence, you're talking about somebody then who knows that they are different than the mass of society, in that they don't connect or resonate with certain emotional words or relationships or events. They don't ascribe the same meaning or content, for example, like as a bystander, where most people would maybe come in to help or come to the aid of others. The psychopath is like cheering on, the killer, or cheering on whatever, the car that's hitting the animal, and they would say good one, where most people would go like, oh my God, that poor beautiful dog was just hit. The psychopath just has no reaction. So they don't have the same, connection. You would think even to their own children, the people who they're married to, their sisters, they don't care who they pilfer, and leaving, it is often stated, the psychopath will leave in their wake a number of people who they have destroyed, hurt. They will leave a wake of destruction in their path. So when we talk about their presence, we're talking a very important educational concept is to understand that there's a very specific energy, controlling in nature, manipulative in nature, exploitive in nature, which comes from this person. And, you need to become aware of this as part of educating society, that there are these types of people who do not have your best interest in mind, who don't play fair, who don't play nice, who are living by pathological lies, who don't want to share and be open. In other words, it is one directional in nature. So it's very vacuous in nature, meaning very, very much like they suck other people in, and they will position themselves in ways with which they are able to do this. So their energy is very, I don't want to say even attractive, because, when you're operating by your values and your laws and you're focusing on that, that will appear and that will manifest in your life. We're talking about the law of manifestation, which is a universal law, which you want to understand. But we're talking about something different here when we're talking about the vacuous nature of a psychopathic individual. It is something that, a psychopath will tell you, it oozes out from me in all of my pores. It just pours forth from them. This ability to almost, I almost equate it to like an invisible tear gas over other words. In other words, it has a very controlling or disabling impact on others. And they kind of play with this, if you will. They manipulate with other people with this, if you will. And if you get this, you can just say, I get it. And I'm going to continue here and focus on. But it's very, until you've been really victimized or hurt or lost your family or lost your job or lost your finances or, lost feeling of your own self-value or self-worth, until this has occurred to you, it's, people will, kind of encounter it on the fringes, or they won't really know. But this energy is designed to pull you in and work kind of into your subconscious mind. And when I say, invisible in nature, in other words, they have a way to kind of project out their energy, kind of throw off energy, if you will, out from their body, with which they're able to direct other people's attention. They're able to direct other people's focus. And they will then twist and contort the meaning of this energy in the mind of others, so that it now it takes on a new form. It takes on a new meaning. It takes on a new experience in the mind of the observer or the person with whom they are trying to manipulate and control. So it's really like a very high level sort of mind games. And the psychopath then manipulates other people in this way. It is beyond their subconscious mind. It's beyond their conscious awareness. So it hits their subconscious mind. So people go along with it subconsciously. So they don't realize that they're getting swept off their feet. They don't realize that they're getting sucked in. In fact, they might even enjoy the process of being around this type of person's energy, because it feels very, very positive in nature. They can, be very charismatic. Very charismatic in nature. Excuse me. It can be very charismatic in nature. It can be very attractive in nature. It can be very gregarious in nature. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, sorry, my computer just went a little awry. But we're going to continue. So it can be very alluring, seductive. People say, oh, wow, that guy or gal had a great charisma. And so, you're able to, feel this. You'll talk about a movie star who has this je ne sais quoi, or a priest or a leader, someone who has this energy about them. The psychopath will have this energy because of a lot of the deficits that are in their mind. It creates kind of an awareness in a way for them to then sharpen their skills, if they will, to push out this energy and project it mind games, if you will, and then draw others in, seduce people in. But furthermore, the harm and the sad thing is that it causes other people to lose control, lose conscious awareness, lose focus on that which is important, and they become swept up. So it can be very attractive, meaning like they can be drawn into this manipulated energy and be under the influence of it, almost like a drug, like a heroin or a crack or any of those really other lethal toxic chemicals which are coming out, which are like all these toxic poisons, which people then ingest. I mean, I was watching if you watch Netflix, they have a very interesting show called The Drug Inc. And they talk about all the various drugs that are being made throughout the world, and how they transport these and what the addict experience is like. And oftentimes these are made from very toxic, poisonous chemicals, which you should not have ingested. I mean, it'll say very clearly, on the label, do not ingest. Yet these people are manufacturing these sort of things. And so you have to realize that this energy coming from this person is very toxic and poisonous in nature, meaning that it renders people oftentimes helpless, like they cannot control themselves. They're subjected to harm. They're subjected to this sort of toxic treatment, very negative interfacing, very, very destructive, very unpleasant. And it's designed to almost throw you off. It is designed to, it's designed for your destruction. It's designed to render you helpless. Whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish and achieve, they will project out that energy. It's almost like throwing a ball of fire. They can throw out energy from their being and really sort of dismantle and disrupt and destroy people. And it is, I mean, you can put a hand up and say, I've been there. I've been the victim. I've been the target. It is a horrific thing because it's a wound which other people can't see. It's a bruise which is not on the skin. It's so you can't point to it and say, look at this. It's a very difficult thing to define and explain. Gaslighting, scapegoating, sabotaging. It's very difficult to quantify this experience, but that is the goal here, to put words, vocabulary, and define this to let you know that you're not crazy. That you can get through this. You can get to the other side. You can get to the other side, and you need to get to the other side, and you need to get there quickly. But you need to understand that this is what we call, the psychopathic presence or positioning with which they project out their energy, and they use this to hurt and control others. And by control, I'm meaning losing what is good for you, your own self-empowered, directive energy, which is life-sustaining. So that is the target. And when we talk about people who are trying to steal your soul, I mean, these are big words, but use them we will, because that is what they're after. If they can leave a wake of destruction, it's another win-win for them. They're polishing their nails. They're like, yep, I got this. The men are, buffing out their thing, I am all this, I'm all that. I mean, it's another win for them. The people who they can juggle around and get, part of their posse, part of their inner group. It's kind of like their inner, it's kind of like an army. They just try to get all these people, on their side, and, and take down others they will, especially those others who have an abundance of qualities with which they don't have, including heart, empathy, grace, class, these qualities about them, a sharp intellect, the nurturing people. I mean, these are the people who have all the qualities that they don't have. And so they're the perfect target. They're the perfect people to learn from. They can learn from how to act and mimic from these people. So hence they're the target. But then eventually they're just going to be done with these people, and they act as if nothing is wrong. They're just going to move on, and they don't care if you can't function. Because they will bring people to the brink of dysfunction, and not able to really sort of carry on in their life. So realize that this presence is an energy. It's a way of positioning themselves. It's the way they contort and project language, distort objects, people, things, and experiences, not, creating sort of an unreality, if you will, not validating you. It becomes part of the gaslighting puzzle and enigma, speaking with that sort of enigmatic or cryptic language. And so please, if you are encountering this type of individual and feel like you're kind of rendered helpless, dysfunctional, you can't function, you're terrorized, this person is, more of a bully than you've ever met, you need to get away from this person. Period. End of story. You need to go no contact. You need to not be around them. You need to not associate with them, not talk to them, not look at them, not interface with them. Whatever you need to do, you need to get away and not feel guilty for saving yourself. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.